Well, hey, welcome back. Here we are again, another Wednesday evening, live streaming with the Shower Door Pros, just like every Wednesday at 5:30 Pacific time. Thanks for joining us, especially you guys who are in the later time zones, which is probably everybody except me, and my friends here in Northern California. It's cool that you guys take time to join us, man. It really means a lot to me. If you are just watching the Facebook group and you want to join us here on the call, it's easy to do. I posted a post there in the Facebook group. It's got a link in it. You just click on that link and it'll take you right into this Zoom chat room. And you can join us and chat with us. It's fun. I'm addicted to it. I mean, I do it like every week, pretty much. So a lot of you guys do, and again, appreciate that. Hey, we were just kind of touching base here before we started the live stream, and Rob was talking a little bit about people he works with and stuff, and he does technology, and I was thinking, man, technology is a really good topic to just chat about. It's like, how are you using technology? That IT stuff, are you using it? Is it something that's new to you, or is it something that you've been doing for a long time? Is it something that you've been thinking about doing but really haven't started with? I'm sure there's probably a real diversity of experience here represented, and so yeah, I'm just curious to hear. And if you've got any tips, maybe you know about some service that I haven't heard about yet. I get lots of great information about new techniques, new technologies all the time from this group. I mean, there's nobody who's benefited from being a part of this group more than me. There is no doubt about that. So, yeah. So just open up. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and tag Rob since he's sitting right there. And yeah, he's the expert, man. And start us off, man. What's going on, Rob?
Well, that's a good point about everyone being at different stages of technology. Obviously, I can speak for hours on it, but where I think everyone should want to talk about it, I've seen it like multiply people. Every owner I've seen really struggles with growing when it comes with duplicating themselves and like giving up control, whether it's in the accounting department, the installing department, and then trusting that person to maintain the quality that they would have done. And some people have successfully done that and modeled that and been able to scale, and some people haven't and are stuck in that little, I don't trust anyone to do it and I'm happy where I'm at. And I've experienced in my little, I guess, 2-3 years of helping people use the follow-up software, I've experienced a lot of different people in different positions. And I've noticed, like, man, everyone can benefit from technology in some way. And it doesn't have to be a scary or crazy automation usually gets talked about, but really everyone can use an upgrade. I feel like everyone's kind of these apps that are coming are like vehicles, and I feel like we're transitioning with the kind of technology that's here. We're all in like a horse stage transitioning to the automobile, and there's a lot of reasons why you shouldn't. There's so many things that people that are concerned about the business, the survival of their business, the health, the quality, like, you want me to trust something that I've heard kills people, like, it doesn't always work, it runs on gas, good luck with that, roads aren't even built yet. Like, there's a lot of things that happen when new technology comes that makes perfect sense why you wouldn't adapt your entire model that you successfully thrived and multiplied on and blessed everyone in your life and your circle with, like, and someone's telling you use this instead. But instead it's more like enhancing. Still use your horse, still use your hand process, your personalized touch. Just figure out where technology can help you. Where can it multiply you? And you can tell the customer, hey, this is my assistant. It's here. AI's here. Walmart has it. Amazon has it. Everything they interact with has it. It's being forced on them, and it's available to you at a very limited cost right now. So why not do what the big boys are doing without having to pay the big boy cost? And I know there's so many apps out there that we've talked about, that people shared, that are there that can help you do it without having to pay what you used to have to pay. You used to have to have a developer on your team, an IT guy, someone you could trust with your business files. Right now all you just need is like me or a software, any of the number of softwares that are out there with people you can partner and say, I'm going to offload this to you. Here's what I want done and how I want it done, and tell me where to go. And if you are kind of techie, go to ChatGPT. Y'all might have heard about it right now. It's out there. It's a website you can visit, and you can ask this site very detailed questions, and it will respond to you with a very sophisticated answer and a strategic plan if that's what you asked it. Hey, what is a good email marketing strategy for a small business in Ohio that deals with contractors that like to do custom showers, not retrofitting? Enter. And then it will spit to you a very well thought out essay telling you a strategic marketing plan, who you should hire. Then you can ask it, who should I hire for this? The same things you would ask a consultant. Ask ChatGPT, it's free, and see what it tells you, and then go from there. I've already talked for long enough, so I'm sorry. I love
No, you could probably go all night, man, huh?
Oh man.
Well, I love something that you said along the way. You said you don't have to get rid of your horse.
Yeah. You don't have to. You don't have
You
to
can keep your
that.
horse, just in case, man. Have a backup,
Test drive the car if you want. Test it every now and then. Tell your staff, hey, I want y'all to deliver our goods in the new kind of, you learn it. I'm still going to do it my way. I'm still going to visit the guys and shake the hands and communicate with the people and phone call. I don't want none of my people to go through this automated process. But there seems to be a demand out there for it, and a customer base that now has come into money because the age group that they're at, and now they're consumers that have wealth and don't care if they text over an invoice for 2,000 and never saw your face. They're there. So at least have that avenue available and have someone in your company that's dealing with it, and you never have to see it. Just know that it's being served and you're not losing out on it.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah. I mean, there's just like a ton of different applications. And like you're saying, this artificial intelligence is kind of the latest craze. It's kind of hitting the streets now, and people are just kind of tripping on it. But I know you have to be careful too, because it's like it can give you information that's not correct, so you just can't really bank on it. But it's amazingly just like how quickly it can put together just a wealth of information. And even if most of it's good, I mean, it's free, right? It's crazy.
But did you see that bit on 60 Minutes?
No, tell me about it.
That was
a couple weeks ago.
I don't think I did.
It was a Microsoft CEO, right?
It was Google.
There we go.
Yeah, man, it was mind-blowing what they were doing.
What's already there in their products.
Yeah. And how much they're releasing, and it was just ask it a question, boom, there was an answer just like that. It was
yeah, I mean, it can like write a book, I mean, it can like literally like write a book in seconds. It's insane.
Like, hey man, I want to write an email campaign. I don't know what to write. Go ask it. And like, it'll give you a good baseline and just edit it to be your voice. But at least someone gave you a template that you would have paid someone else to do.
Well, yeah. And if you're a writer, that like the hardest part of writing is just starting. I mean, it's like starting. That first sentence is the hardest one. Once you get something going, it's pretty easy. If you can write, to write, but man, just to have a little head start, just an outline of something. And then, like you say, kind of use your own voice.
Chris.
Yes.
Do a little fun thing. Have ChatGPT write a quick synopsis of the Shower Door Professionals Facebook group. And then and then whatever comes back, post it in the chat so everyone can see it. It's going to be incredible.
Rob, are you game?
Sure. I'll open up another browser and make sure it doesn't overload here with my nice tab. I like to tab
bandwidth, man. Bandwidth.
We played with it last week. We said, write us a marketing plan. Almost what Robert said to a T. Write us a marketing plan and pick an area and tell about our company. And I don't think it took 45 seconds, and it was really well written. It was incredible.
And the beauty of it is like the beauty of it is it retains your information. So if you sign in with your account, which it wants you to do, and then if you're willing to tell it and say, yes, let's continue this conversation, then as you ask it more questions, it's going to use the context of what you previously asked it. So you don't have to continue to give it the best question. You just keep asking, so how do I do that? Who would I get to get that done? Actually, that doesn't sound like, can you modify what you just said to be in this version? Because you realize what they spit out wasn't like to your liking. It's amazing how you can use this as your assistant.
Wow.
Let me ask you, can you tell it to translate it? Say, take my brochure from whatever and translate it to Spanish?
I don't know if ChatGPT does, but there's about 7 AIs out there right now, and there are some out there that do that. There's a great one that ChatGPT can really give you prompts because the artificial intelligence behind it scours the internet and it gives you the best kind of answers, and then all uses the context of what you asked it before. And then these other AIs can, like, you can give it a prompt and say, hey, summarize this entire thread. And that's actually what I've been doing with our YouTube subscription, with our YouTube channel. I'll use one AI to transcribe the entire 1-hour video of our talk. I'll use a different AI to summarize into shorter paragraphs into a YouTube description that will fit the 5,000 character limit with hashtags that are related to this to enter. And then that AI gives me that, and it gives it to me in a way that, well, all of your kids that are in high school today can already know that this is the AI they can enter the answer, enter the question of their essay into, get the answer, put it into this other AI that's going to make it rehash it out so it's not plagiarized, because it's going to make sure it doesn't use anything that a professor could find on the internet. And then they're going to submit that as their own work with their name at the bottom, and you can't stop them. And what are you going to do about it? Is the big question to everyone scared of this. So I would say use it to your best benefit, but it's amazing how, make sure you're aware of the other AIs you could use that could benefit your business, not just the ChatGPT one, because there might be there is data. The concern of data is huge across everyone's, it's very important. I would suggest everyone get a VPN, have one, understand what that is. It's just, there's different things you can download onto your computers and your business computers that are just programs that say, hey, make sure my IP address isn't like available in a simple Google search to a hacker. Click, like, make sure our browser search is amongst our community. Make sure if one of my employees clicks an email link that gets sent to them, that it isn't from that hacker that it just got the password to our Facebook account and is going to run ads and get us banned, which happened to me personally. But this is real. These and hackers are only, I don't know which programs you might watch on TV, but every one of them can attest to the increase in digital theft. Mm-hmm. And people being left naked and unprotected, especially the elderly that doesn't even know where to begin protecting the things. And VPN is a place where you can start 2FA, two-factor authentication. It's the most annoying thing for everyone, but all it is every website allows you to go to security settings and say, turn on 2FA. And all that means is if someone logs into my account with my password, send a text to my phone, send an email to this account, and give me a button that I can press to verify it's me. Everyone hates it until someone else uses it.
Until you need it, right?
Right. Everyone hates it.
A lot of sites are just requiring it. I mean, more and more you notice, like, it's required.
I'm logging into ChatGPT over here on the side to see if it can summarize.
Yeah, I've had several people try to take my website.
Yes.
It actually came across today. Somebody was trying to claim the ownership of my website. So
That's
I had to
good.
submit a complaint to Google on that.
That's an interesting point. So Brian, did you buy a lot of the associated domain names similar to your website? So did you buy the biz and the .org and?
Yeah, I have a lot of them, and I've got some that are like I have theshowerdoorguy.com and I have showerdoorguy.com.
Yeah.
Have a bunch of others too, and some that aren't even, related to Shower Door Guy,
Well, did you get the Shower Door Guys? Did you put the S on it in case they accidentally did it?
Be honest with you, I don't know. I've got about 25 URLs.
Oh,
So
Bill, you got a whole bunch too, don't you?
Yes. Yeah. A lot.
Yeah, it's smart. It's smart to
how
hedge your
many,
bets.
Bill, Bill, how many do you have? Do you think?
50,
Yeah, okay,
about 50.
yeah.
When we were going through our name change from before, we didn't know what we needed, so we bought a bunch then. And then, I mean, once you buy one, it goes back to you, said, you want to buy this for $1? And so there was quite a few that we were buying very, very cheap, very cheap.
Of course, when they renew, they're not as cheap anymore, right?
No, they're not as cheap, but some of them are very important. Like we had the domain name msdoorfl.com. Now, at the time, it stood for Mr. Shower Door when I was connected with Tom. But when we went to My Shower Door, we still were able to use MS Door until I was able to actually purchase the My Shower Door from someone else that owned it up in the Northeast. But when we were going through that search, there was a lot of other opportunities that came up, like Master Shower Door, because we were thinking that would be the MSD. So we started buying other words that started with M, and then it just led to generic ones like the Shower Door Company or the Shower Door this or that. So yeah, we bought quite a few back then.
I bought some that were like, we have a town called Roswell and a town called Marietta and Buford. And so I'd say get like Buford Shower Doors or something.
Yeah.
You know, because at one time the algorithms favored a URL that was specific to search terms.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not sure how much that applies today because there's so many changes since then, but that was the reason. And so we have that linked to our website. And I think I have some that have a generic landing page on it that has some information.
Yeah, that's good. Did you get that up yet, Robert?
Oh no, I'm closing down a bunch of tabs so it can go faster. I got about 9 browsers, like, I don't know, 72 tabs open.
That's awesome. So what technology do you guys love, man? Is there an app that you just find like you're just using all the time? You just love it?
Well, I've got a question. Well, maybe I should let other people answer your question first. But...
No, you go for it, man.
All right. We had a guy who cold called us for a marketing plan. It's pretty expensive, but it's an interesting deal. And I would like to hear if anybody knows anything about this kind of deal. But one, and I don't have my notes with me, they can put a deal on your website. So anybody that goes to your website, you know who it is, it captures their information. And, you know, we have like 140 new customers or views, new viewers on our website a month. And so, but we don't have that many people asking for measures or, you know, that sort of thing that come from the website. So we feel like, hey, maybe this thing would work because what it does is it'll use social media advertising. It'll capture their data and it'll blast them. I hate to say blast them, but it'll ping them with some of our advertising on social media. So let's say they're searching our site and several other sites and so forth, you know, kicking the tires. It's good for them to see our ads now on their Facebook page or Instagram. And that's just one of their methodologies. There's a whole host of things, the geo-targeting, where, you know, your ad, a video, actual commercial, like a 12-second commercial can pop up on Facebook or Instagram. Let's say if they walk into Floor and Decor, you know, that kind of thing. Has anybody heard of anything like that?
Yes, I've heard of the geo-targeting. I haven't used it. I had a few calls with a few different people. I know it really excels in the automobile industry, is where they really were very successful in getting a lot of clients and having a lot of data to show. But you're able to successfully do some of those things yourself without having to pay anyone. If y'all go to your business manager for Facebook, I think it's business.facebook. Most people say I have a Facebook page and I'm the admin and I'm in account settings, but that's one area, Facebook. And then the back end is business.facebook. And that's where you would set up your Facebook business manager to make sure your account has one. That's where you're able to run ads. And in that section, you're able to find something called a Facebook pixel. So the Facebook pixel is what you would set up, put in your link, go to your website, have your website guy put it in the code or wherever it says. But there's a plugins, depending if you have a WordPress site, GoDaddy and all these other site creators have their own ways, but every one of them has some type of code you can put in the header and footer that you grab from your business Facebook account. It gives you like 3 options of applying your pixel, depending on your level of technology. And then once you do that and set up your pages, then when you run your ads, or just in general, you'd have some data about where they went, what pages they went to. If you ran ads, that pixel itself would give you all the data you needed to know what pages are people are going to, where are they submitting, what are they clicking, because you would set up that Facebook pixel on every page to track whenever they click this button, call it this, and show it to me as this in the report. Whenever they click this link or this picture or watch this video, this link, call it this and put it as this in my report. So this is what agencies can do for you, but at a very basic level, a lot of y'all can do it yourself, or your whoever's that tech savvy person that sets up your basic stuff in your company might be able to figure out the basic Facebook pixel part. There's also Hotjar. That's a really cool website that is all about analytics. They've been around forever. They've been trusted. There's probably alternatives to Hotjar, but that's one I would confidently recommend anyone that they can install on their site. And it gives you like a heat map of your website. Super dope, because you're able to just pull the report on your Hotjar after you install it, and you'll see people went to these pages. It'll show you big red globs, and you'll see, oh, this is where a lot of people spent time. Just like a heat map of traffic, it would show you where on your page people are going and what attention they're paying to what, and that might give you some incentive to create blog posts or certain content around whatever they're clicking, or figure out why they're not converting if they are doing certain things. But 2 super cool things you can use: installing your own Facebook pixel and doing your own Hotjar.
Yeah, I think it's that pixel that they put on your website, or they have us put on, and then but they can pull all that information of the people visiting our website, and then basically target those individuals if they have.
Yes, the retargeting campaigns. Those are very dope. So after you set up your pixel, you can go into your audiences in your Facebook manager, and this is where you would create an audience, and then you could say create an audience of people that went to Home Depot, like Home Depot, and went here. But in this scenario, you're using your own pixel. You're going to say, give me an audience of everyone that went to this page. Give me an audience of everyone that did this. And then when you save that audience, then you can run an ad, and you can run a specific ad to people who visited this page, which is the audience you're going to use in your Facebook ad settings. And then the video you're going to run and say, hey, I saw you visited my website, and they're going to be like, this is creepy. But that's kind of that's how these agencies do it. They just set up some tracking, and then they set up custom audiences based on that tracking. They make sure everything's accurate, and then they run ads to that audience. And a majority of the time, they're accurate. Sometimes you'll get that little audience member that'll give that lame comment that'll be like wrong audience or dumb targeting. You know, those, everyone has an opinion. Customer base, you can't run an ad without everyone making happy, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that you can do this all yourself and start running at a small basic level in your ads manager. And it's a super cool place to start.
Is that what you're doing, Robert?
I used to do that. It's time consuming. It's and at the scale that GCS is at, I don't know. I have too many things I'd love to work on. And the running ads and running them confidently. If I'm doing something I know there's a lot of things that go to it, and I can't dedicate the amount of time I would want to confidently say, man, we're running it at full speed, and we're doing every best technique, best practice out there that I read in the latest month article. I can't do that with Facebook ads like I used to.
Well, and that's where paying somebody to do it, if they're good at it and effective, could be worthwhile for the spend, because otherwise we're taking our time, which our time could be better utilized doing other things.
Selling shower doors. or
Hiring
something.
Absolutely.
somebody, you know,
Stay
we
in your
gotta hire
lane.
somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, my
so-
but my friend Eugene that I brought on a couple weeks ago
Uh-huh.
with the web stream, he's a pro at that. I mean, he studies that all the time, and he set up my glassgadget.com site for that, and it was just incredible. Everything like Rob is describing there. I mean, there's just you could have somebody full time doing that, and it's just so powerful. Like you just that you can just dive so deep into it and be really specific in who you target.
It looks like Christina just joined us. So one thing I want to tell everybody, and this is just a side note, but she just got on the cover of my home improvement magazine in Atlanta.
Hey!
Yeah.
Share
So,
your screen.
yeah, Christina, share your screen.
Let's see it.
Where'd she
I'm,
go?
Oh,
I'm
she's driving.
so I'm sorry.
Well, you need to post it to the group.
Oh, thanks, guys. I think a lot of you had voted for me
Oh,
for
you
that
got it?
as well, which is very sweet. Oh dear, my mom's involved. You guys got my parents involved. This is a mess. Well, thank you very much.
Oh, here we go.
and I've been on for a little. Oh Lord.
Who's that, Brian?
Yeah.
That's not Christina.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
not
yeah.
me.
I can't.
So-
I'm
That's
on
the
my
real
phone,
deal.
I can't see y'all, but it's cute. It's a really good little magazine. But about the marketing, I think the biggest thing, we really don't do any social media marketing right now. So it's a little concerning for us to go from 0 to 100 and or rather 0 to like $4,000 a month. And it's a lot of money that they're asking for. And I defy it without doing a little bit of our own homework and, like you're saying, add the pixel ourselves, try our own things. But at the same time, we don't have time. We already have a negative time. So should we just bite the bullet and do an agency to start it off right, get it off our hands? Does anybody use an agency separately?
Yeah, we've worked with, we've done it internally. We've worked with agencies. Only thing I would say with everyone working with it, just making sure the metrics they give you are the right ones. The numbers, there's tons of numbers. Numbers don't lie, people do, but what they show you matters. And a lot of people love to talk about clicks and views and all these other numbers and tell you how much it increased. But the only thing you care about is cost per acquisition in my mind. If they can tell you what's your cost per acquisition, and all the other numbers are cool to know, and you can like do moves on them and data. Hey, we make more of these videos because people watch them more. That's all cool data too. But the one thing I would say to find a marketer you love and stick with them and to know you're building a good relationship is just focus on that CPA. If you can come up with something like, what's your cost per acquisition through them, and are you happy with that? How much are you spending? How much are you paying for a closed customer? What's your average profit per job for every customer that came through that channel? Does that make sense for your business? Is that sustainable? Or are you just shooting yourself in the foot, actually not making a profit, but thinking you're killing it? Like actually track that source, have some internal tracking. It's not just their report that they give you of how many leads they gave you, how many people converted, how much. Have your own internal one and have that discussion where y'all can at least match data and say, okay, y'all are saying this is this, great, we're both happy, and look for any discrepancies and things that stand out, and then making sure you don't get into a contractual basis with anyone that can rip away the benefit they gave you, because you're paying for this benefit to be sustained, not to be taken when someone wants to ruin y'all's relationship. So
Good
make sure
point.
it's structured in the way where you
good
have the
point.
primary act. That a lot of people like to feel like they own what they did for you. It's like, nah.
I paid for that. It's mine.
Yeah.
Well, how do you do that on Facebook? In other words, we own the Facebook account.
Mhm.
So they wouldn't take that, but I was worried that there would be some other way that I don't know. I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah, you would. It's pretty controllable as long as you're dealing with a trustworthy company. We work with a few partners that run ads for us. We connect some people that use follow up with a few of the people of our ad partners. So we know people we could connect you with if you don't already have a network yourself of people you prefer to work with first. And everyone's worth their salt. You never know who's going to really shine for you. And there's no risk in your Facebook account for using a trusted person. They know what they're doing. You have your ad budget already discussed, and you have a goal in mind that you understand, a goal we all agree on, because Facebook is a long-term game. You're not going to see fast results. You're going to get mad at people very fast for no reason, thinking this is Google. Google is immediate results. They're higher cost. You're paying for someone who's looking for this service right now. They already did the song and dance. On Facebook, it's more of a social thing. You're getting them earlier in the process. Their lifespan, their time to close that sale is a lot longer. But getting them to know you and choose you when they do decide, that's what happens on Facebook. And your retargeting, your ability to add, create these audiences, show them an ad if you notice they watched half your video or your whole video, showing them different things. And being able to track that, you can do yourself within Facebook. And as long as you had a person who you spoke with that say, hey, I know in month 1 and month 2, it's about audience. We're paying to get our attention out there and to let the money we're spending and the data show us which of these ads that we thought were going to be good are actually good. And then after that 1 month, 2 month, what's our strategy? How are we attacking people? How many people are coming in the door? Because by month 3, now you might have some closed leads. And now don't judge whoever you pick in month 1 or month 2, or you'll never be happy with who you pick. And that's my biggest, I don't want good guys to lose because the expectation wasn't set by them in the first place. And that's something I would say know that you're getting into a long game with Facebook, but I truly believe it's worth it. Big boys are playing there, and it's just all about playing there strategically and making sure you can track that customer came back 6 months later and closed and they were a $3,000 job, and giving credit to that campaign and saying, all right, guys, it's worked. I knew it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I went on a website this morning looking for a Jeep top. And I looked up my year and everything at the Jeep, and I signed out. And then pretty soon I get an email back from them that says, we saw you looking. And they knew what I looked at and, was trying to sell the product.
Absolutely. And y'all can do that with the Pixels, the Google has things you can install, but then once you have a Google account, like Facebook owns Instagram and WhatsApp. So if you're running your Pixel, you're able to retarget people. If they went to this page, retarget them here. Now, if you're running your Google ads and you have your business.google set up and all that good tracking stuff, then that's a separate kind of retargeting you can do because Google owns YouTube. And now you can tell your Google ads that you can run yourself through that business.google, hey, run this ad to anyone watching YouTube videos. Like you have a video and now people that don't pay for premium YouTube, which is millions of people, will see these ads that you retargeted to them, and you're hitting an audience that saw your ad before or went to this website page, and you can be the person who retargets people. You don't have to be Nike and have a Nike budget anymore. You just got to have tracking set up with Google, tracking set up with Facebook, the knowledge of how to create these audiences in both of these platforms, and the knowledge of how to create the ad campaigns that say target these audiences. And then what are you targeting them with? What words, what video, what message? Because getting them segmented is the hard part. You know what you got to say to each person if they were to call you right now in each scenario, and just recording that, putting that out there, giving that to your marketing team and say, this is what you create. I think that's the golden nugget that's holding back a lot of people from having some pretty cool social post stuff now. Your Facebook manager is not going to be a social poster. That's two different things. Social media, Facebook posting, that's a social media manager. I'm posting things that people are going to like and share. Business.Facebook, running ads. There's people that'll go to your page, might not ever see any of those ads, and you might be killing it. So understanding you might be paying for two different things too, or a package. I'm not sure what y'all are dealing with, but those are two separate conversations to have and two separate techniques. One person, is hard to do both. A very technical person that can run ad platforms, understand budget and managing, and a creative person that can make your content and know what to say and have words that your owner would agree with. Good luck with someone like Brandon. The people are perfectionists. Every owner wants to have a certain look and a certain thing, and having them be a touch point is super important. And that's where I'm like, Chance made a comment of finding someone like a college intern, like great place for social media management versus someone who runs ads, which would be called a paid ads manager, media buyer. Media buyer is the official title you'll find on LinkedIn. of someone who's going to charge you a good amount, but might have some good data and experience behind them. Facebook ad agency is the name of someone who's just doing their agency work, but media buyer is that secret title that you might want to look for.
Yeah, Chance just posted another comment to chat. It's like, what, Chance? Why don't you just talk?
Workstream. I remember we used Workstream.
I got cartoons playing in the background, man.
That's cool. We love cartoons.
There's little kids running around, cartoons going on. So I wasn't trying to really talk too much, but all the ad buying was difficult for me at first. And like, I got into it and didn't have a budget like a lot of people, but I knew I wanted more people to sell to. Like, I can only knock on so many doors. And with social media, you can talk to so many people at one time, you know. I think that's even why Keith loves it so much, and Brandon, and I mean a lot of us on here, because you can get on, you can mass market. Even if you got out to a conference, like how many handshakes could you make and impressions could you make in a day, right? Even if you're shaking hands all day, and you can do that like at scale on social and digital. So as much as I like outside sales and pushing that market, when I tried to learn all this stuff, there was and they probably have better competitors now, but it was like wordstream.com, WordStream, and they provided a software that made all the suggestions and like scraped all your ads and would show you like even the word copy for you, get rid of your negative keywords and all that kind of stuff. But you took all the action and it made all the suggestions, but it taught you how to run all that stuff, how to run retargeting and set up your pixel. And you could even use them as coaches or whatever, but it was a way lower cost to, barrier to entry. And it kind of lets you at least understand it. And then once you understand something, it's a lot easier to go spend money on a $4,000 a month ad buyer, right? That's going to go do that for you, plus ad spend. And then, before you know it, you're spending $100,000 on Facebook, and you're hoping it gets you the return you're looking for. So those are good ways that's a good way to go and at least learn it, in my opinion.
Hey, Chance, you mentioned negative keywords. Talk about that for a minute.
Because, we do shower doors, right? None of us really do windows. So if you got a window repair or screen repair and stuff like that, a lot of that falls under glass and mirror companies. So like any guy is going to go, ooh, this one has a lot of clicks. So I can show the client, being us, right? The client from an ad buyer, and they're going to show us like, oh, look how many clicks you got on this ad. And it did really well. And like, yeah, but half the calls and half the people were looking for a window screen repair. Come do a hack out at my house in my door, like an 8x11 panel, or like, little things like that, things we don't really do, a lot of us. We're trying to sell shower doors and railings and, high-end glass products. Some of you guys might do that. So no, I'm not saying anything different. That's what I grew up in. But if you're not, those are negative keywords that he's going to show you, look how great it did. And you're going to say like, oh, well, I didn't really get that many good leads of products I actually sell. So they'll go in and get rid of all those negative keywords, repair, service work, 24-hour service, that kind of stuff, and omit it. And that makes, if they go do it for you, they're going to charge you a lot of money, but you pay a little software fee to learn how to do it yourself. It makes all the suggestions. You're just following, it's like doing a DocuSign. You start, click here, click here, click here, click here, and just follow along the recommendations till it's finished. And all of a sudden your optimization score goes up and all that stuff. And you're like, man, I'm kicking butt and I didn't have to pay nobody. I'm learning this stuff. I could do this. They were going to charge me $4,000 for this, like, I don't know, you could get kind of into it. And for a lot of you guys, it could probably be a killer way to strum up some business. But I will say, I study the marketing stuff. I study the sales stuff. It's like where I like to spend a lot of my time and energy. I follow a lot of the big companies. I read a lot of books. Anyway, but what everyone is saying right now in that world is like, a lot of people are pulling back right now because there's a lot of fear in the market, right? In the economy and everything. So people are pulling back. So cost per lead is going up pretty significantly right now. So like people are scaling back. They're looking for ways to save. So that's why you're getting cold calls, because people are trying to strum stuff up, right? And a lot of the companies that are doing really well, that during COVID were crushing it with ads and digital and stuff like that. But where the market is kind of going right now is building up a sales team and doing that cold calling for you, calling cold contractors, driving neighborhoods, walking in places, because the retail clients are kind of pulling back right now. They're going like, should we really do that bathroom remodel? Should we really do this? But builders still have a lot of stuff in the pipeline. And then the people that don't really get affected by the economy, you know, if she wants a new bathroom, you know, her husband's going to buy it for her, right? And she wants a new shower door to go with that. It's going to happen. So the people that have the 2 and 3 houses and stuff like that, the economy doesn't really affect them all the same. And so the custom builders are still like booming from what we're seeing. So yeah, building an outside sales team that's pushing for you, or even an inside sales team, but that's pushing outbound, is like where a lot of people are spending their money on right now, not only in our industry or construction, but in a lot of other cross industries as well.
Beautifully put. See, I knew you had something important to say.
Man, I just like listening, and I like listening and learning, because when I get on a spiel, I just talk too much.
No, that was great stuff. And you know, I learned about this like negative keywords. I mean, a lot of people probably don't even know that. Like my web guy, when he was setting up my website, he wanted some words that I didn't want people to find me under, you know. So I gave him words like, you know, budget, low cost, cheap, inexpensive, discount. Yeah. It's like, put all those words in the negative category. You know, I don't want people finding me under there.
Well, one of the ones we used to win on a whole bunch back when we first got into this was all good keywords we would use was all of our competitors' names. So like anyone that was searching our competitor, all of a sudden our ad pops to the very first thing, and they're not even looking at it. They just see the first phone number, don't realize it's an ad and a totally different company name. They're clicking it and they're like, hey, you know, they're looking for Legacy Glass, and like, hey, trying to call Legacy, I'm getting a new shower. And like, I answered the phone, GCS, and like, oh yeah, we do shower doors. You're looking for something new, and like just kind of like go right into it and try to close the deal. And they're like, yeah, this was GCS. Like, I thought I called Legacy. And I was like, oh, I guess, you know, it was just meant to be.
The numbers are all close together, right?
Yeah, it was meant to be. You called me today, because now you're gonna get that much better service. Aren't you happy? You know.
Well, we had the perfect pitch. It happened so much that we had the perfect pitch for it. It's like, hey, this is GCS glass. Oh, I'm looking for this glass. Oh, no problem. If you were looking for a shower, we can get you a quote real quick with just a text and a picture. Did you need that company's number? Yeah, I do. But what'd you say? You can give me a quote right now. Yeah, just send me a text and a picture, and then I'll get you that number right now over while you do that. Boom. And now I can get them a quote. That person they're calling is telling them that on Wednesday, someone's going to get around 2 p.m. if they can take off work. And I'm like, and I already gave them an accurate quote that we're not going to go back on, or I'm going to shoot myself in the foot and get in trouble for misquoting, not discomfort the customer because we got our process wrong. And that was a really cool technique that worked. Won't work for everyone, but we noticed in our area that worked. And negative keywords y'all can do in Yelp, Google, Facebook. It's just going to your ad campaign after you're running it. It'll tell you all the words people found you on. Then you tell your ad guy, or you tell yourself, oh, look at these 7 phrases of people entered, found my company, and I don't do. How do I make sure I don't pay for that? Because you're paying for these searches. You just go into your negative, click that little negative button like you would find on any platform, and hit enter. And then it would now say, all right, great. We're going to make sure you don't pay for anyone that types these words. That's a negative keyword list. And if you can have that list in a Google sheet, because one of your people are Excel crazy, then tell your office person, go get a list of all the people that call us for stuff we don't do, and then save that list in our Google Drive. And then now you have a list you can provide for marketers that actually know what they're doing with it. But that's a task that y'all can do internally that can help you know what you don't want to serve. And then other people can build stuff for that for you.
Huge. That's huge, man.
Was that those keywords we're talking about for Legacy Glass? Was that on Google? Like,
yeah,
was that Google or Facebook, or what was that?
Google's a great one.
Yeah, it's more search
To have
words.
your
more because you're like no one on
search
Facebook.
words,
You're
got
not
it.
going and searching. TikTok is releasing something that has to do with search that's going to compete with Google. Everyone thinks they're crazy for it, but I think it's kind of genius. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. But Google is the #1 search engine out there, right? And YouTube, they own YouTube, so YouTube is that naturally the second biggest. I mean, bigger than Bing or Yelp or any of those others. And then so those are where people are actually going to search words, right? They're going to use words, so you want to put the negative keywords in there. Facebook, people are scrolling, so it's more like, hey, I gotta entertain you or like stop you in your tracks within 2 seconds, so you'll stop, scroll, look at my video, that kind of thing.
Facebook's different, where the only strategy there is you want to download a list of your customers that are sold. Now upload that list to your ad platform and negative them if they're residential, because how many times is a person going to buy a shower for their master? And if you give that list to that's a way on Facebook where you can upload an audience of sold customers and then exclude them from your ad. And that's a way that you can save money on your cost per basis. Same thing with Google. Like, you tell them, I want to run a search for this word. They'll give you a cost. They'll literally give you a real quick. It'll charge you $50 for every custom shower word. Ooh, that's too expensive. How much for every click on frameless shower doors in Buda, Texas? That's a long keyword. Those are cheap. So that's where people talk about getting super long keywords you like. They're cheap. Not many people are entering them. But the common keywords are very expensive. And that's it. The entire ad platforms across all these networks are just auctions. You're an auctioneer. You're deciding to sign up, and you're going to bid against someone else for the #1 thing, which is someone's attention. And you're telling Google, I want their attention first. I want to be #1. How much is that? And that's kind of the entire ad in a nutshell. Yelp, all of the above. It's all about money, baby. And as long as you know your cost per acquisition, you'll know which platforms are worth running, because in the end of the day, you'll know on this platform, this is how much it costs us to get a paid customer, and this is the average value of a customer from this platform. Check mark that as a yes, or check mark that as a no, as sustainable for our business. And that's most people don't know that numbers. Hell, I can't even give those numbers right now. I'm working on it. But if you got people internally that are of this mind, the data's there for you to get, and you don't got to pay no one for it. Is where I always like to go with it.
Awesome.
Is anybody using Yelp?
I love Yelp, but a lot of people hate it for good reason.
I don't pay them for anything. I mean, they call like pretty regularly, want to sell, and it's like, I think it's like, well, it's been a while since I talked to him, but it was like a $300 minimum to advertise with them. And yeah, I have feelings.
I'm becoming a Yelp partner so I can run ads for multiple people, get discounts on profile upgrades, because I can't say that it's not worth it. I only know of our opinions in the past, and I know that Yelp has a reseller program where tons of people can call you, tell you, sign into your profile right here, and walk you through it. These people don't work for Yelp. They're Yelp partners. They want to be the people to sign you up with the discounts that they have under their belt. But they can't do anything for you that you can't do yourself, or that a Yelp partner like me or anyone you actually know that's an ad agency that signed up for the program and met all the criteria. And anyone can do this, including you running your own Yelp accounts. You just won't get the coupons that these people call you and say they can give you. And they always want you to sign up for your card and just do it right now. Well, do you have time? They're just trying to get you in their referral circle. Don't give them money. Go to yelp.com and just business.yelp, put paid social profile upgrades. They have buttons that I think the total is like 150. You can pay for certain buttons. And all those buttons, every upgrade is a different version of what they're selling you. When someone searches your page, it'll cost you $10 to make sure no competitors show, $20 to make sure you control what button they go to. So then now you can put a landing page you created and track it. If you don't pay them, it goes to their page. There's like 7 different scenarios where they're giving you an option to pay for an upgrade. And then the cost to your business would be about $170 a month. That's not paid ads. That's just social upgrades. Then there's the actual business of running paid ads. Yelp has negative keywords, positive keywords. They don't have the structure, but they have the trust and a large community base. And that's all that matters. Where audiences are, you want to exist. If you want, at least know people are there with money. Consumers are there. It might be restaurant focused, but if you don't know it doesn't work, then try it. Most people write things off with assumptions of the past.
Yeah, I didn't have good luck with them in the past, and I was always arguing with crappy leads that, you know. I think one time what happened, and it might have been a different platform than Yelp, but they wanted to put a thing on my website so that, people could click on it and it'd go back to Yelp. And so I had a customer that I asked how they found me. They said, well, I went to your website. And I thought, well, I thought you came through Yelp or something. I can't remember exactly how it went, but come to find out, they went to my website and they ended up getting directed to Yelp, and then Yelp charged me for the lead.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know, maybe it wasn't Yelp. It could have been, what is that, House or
House Call Pro?
Home Advisor.
Home Advisor, just as bad of a reputation and a network. Their Angie Lead, the technique, just the fact that it's been proven that they took people's money, got leads, and then sold those leads to multiple sources at once, so that when I called them, if I didn't call them immediately, they already sold that lead to 4 other people. And if I'm an hour late, this person's pissed off. You're the 5th person to call me. And then that's when you realize, oh, I see what y'all are doing. I get the business perspective of it, but from a ethical, like this, no, y'all don't deserve anything. Yelp, I understand, is tarnished for other reasons of their affiliate model and how people believe that they got scoured by Yelp, but it was really just the model itself and the trust they put towards these individual people. Just like a Facebook manager that runs your ads bad or a Google manager doesn't mean the platforms are bad. They just sucked. With Yelp, there was always these people misrepresent themselves as people that work for it. So everyone thinks they ran ads with Yelp themselves, but really it was just companies. But these, the upgrades are great. Angie's List, that technique they did, I just can never go back to recommending them. Yelp, I'm giving a second chance based on data alone. And just
well, it sounds like there's been some changes to Yelp because the services you're describing weren't available. Last time I talked to him, which was a long time ago.
They pushed they even made me, they told me if I wanted to get verified, I had to remove that our software requests reviews from people, because one of the things that our stuff does, like follow-up does, just like Nice Job, at the end of the job, you can put an automation that says whenever someone moves to this stage, send them a request for review. And then for the extended period of time, send them a review until they leave it, or whatever conditions move them out of this automation. But there's a lot of services that do that. And Yelp actually is so adamant about being represented correctly now that they require me as a partner to go remove that we even request reviews. They're like, we don't even want to, in your process as a Yelp paid customer, we don't want them to ever be asked for a review. We want it to be authentically come from the customer. And we don't even allow partners that request a review from the person when it's done. If we know about it, we terminate that. But don't see, don't tell kind of was what they told me. But overall, they're really trying to work on their reputation and put a big investment in maintaining the user base they have and the trust they have for the people that haven't left them yet.
Nice.
So that's a cool, just like LinkedIn is doing for influencers and getting people that are knowledgeable, like Chris Phillips, to be looked at as experts in the community and like highlighted in like a thread that you don't even follow. I had that experience where I was going down my chain. They know what I'm interested in. They showed him as a person I should follow because of the content he was sharing. I thought that's super cool, but LinkedIn's making that same kind of internal investment in their platform to make it
Shame
better.
on you for not following him already.
Yeah, right. What?
That's kind of messed up, dude.
I'm behind on my social game.
I'm up to 32 followers, man. That would have been 33.
I couldn't get ChatGPT figured out on my end. It won't load. I think I overdid some things on my computer here. Sorry.
Oh, man.
I've been trying on the side. I didn't abandon Bill Dodman's idea. It was a great idea. I just haven't.
It was.
I'm stuck on a load screen.
Bill's good at that, man. He's sharp on his feet.
I just wanted everybody to see how technology can help you. And you're just proving me that there is that part of technology. It just doesn't work.
Oh, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I don't mean it to be bad. It's just, that's the way it happens.
Oh, no, that's like everyone that uses follow-up. Like, there's always like, man, I know this thing's awesome, but getting over that hill.
I have it up. What do you want to look at? What were you going to type in?
Well,
Just
we were going to do a demonstration chance of typing in a question. For instance, ask ChatGPT to give you a review on the Shower Door Professionals Facebook group.
You got
Yeah.
pro.
I don't know if it'll do like an action because it's more, but like a,
You can start and see what the response is.
Yeah.
Like
No,
see in real
we
time
had
what
it
this.
to a marketing plan
I-
for our company. It worked great.
can
Yeah.
you give me a review on the Shower?
Door Professionals Facebook group.
What did I just do here?
R.
Chris, you mind if I ask a question?
Yeah, go for it.
What's everybody and Robert, that was very insightful information. I appreciate all that technical marketing stuff that you had. It was very good information. So what's everybody's budget based on gross sales? Is there a percentage that people typically use for marketing their brands or their products on this Facebook or YouTube or Google? Is there a percentage that somebody can kind of give a rule of thumb?
Good question. Good question.
Thank you.
I would say that.
Allegedly,
Go ahead.
oh, go ahead, please.
I would say like I'm pretty pleased if I'm paying 10% or less, you know,
Right.
on like a marketing, like overall for Facebook. I think like most high growth companies spend about 10% budget, you know, or like, and then like a regular growth company would spend like a 10% budget, but like a lot of people put in 20%, you know, into marketing if you're truly trying to grow. But at that rate, you're going to run really thin lines of profit because you're going all for growth. And then that way you can get brand exposure like Bill and those guys have, you know, and then once you have brand exposure, you can kind of pull back your budget a little bit. You still want to grow and get those clicks and keep the customers because you got employees to keep trucks running and stuff like that. But you can almost live off of word of mouth heavy. But once you have both kind of going for you, 10% or less, I would say is pretty like
And
industry.
that'll be on gross sales then, in other words.
Yeah,
Right, Chase?
yeah.
Ray, we do exactly that. When we start a new market, if we go to a new city, we have to make a name for ourselves and we project we look at what our previous store did in a different market. And
Right.
we will take 10% of that to apply for the first year. And once the ball gets rolling, we cut it back to 7%, then 6%, then 5%. We flatten out at 5%.
Gotcha. Okay, I appreciate that. That's good information.
That's a rule of thumb.
How many people are using no dollars for marketing costs?
What? That is so cool. Oh, how many people are using what?
We are about 2%.
$0 and still getting business. That's why marketing always helps.
And you can't. Keith is running the
Correct.
mag store with no marketing at all, just all social media.
I'm sorry, say that again, Bill?
But my son Keith has the architectural glass, right?
Right.
Yet we haven't spent $1 in marketing on that. None.
Well, you have repeat customers. Well, it's a great thing because you have repeat customers and they know what you do and you put out a good product and they're going to kind of keep coming back to you.
Well, no, because it's run as a separate company.
No, I know. No, I understand that. I know, but you have repeat customers. Shower door people are going to come back to you and come back to you and come back to you and run their business by buying your product.
Yeah, but the point I was making is he does a lot of social media stuff, a lot. And basically his whole marketing is social media. We're not paying a penny in advertising.
I gotcha. Well, wasn't
We
Robert
just-
talking about social media too?
What'd you say, Christina?
I was just going to say, we only spend about 2% of our gross revenue on marketing. It's very, very low, but we're also not a high growth or like really intense growth company right now. And that's why we're looking at this, spending this insane amount of money. The SBA, for reference, recommends spending 7% of your gross revenue,
Thank you.
just for your reference.
So the problem with that, Christina, and that's pretty good, but you're going into a new market. You don't know what your gross revenue is. You have to use something to gauge it on, right? Like if you want to renew your budget that you did in your own market, that you already have some statistics of what you did last year, then 7% is fine. But let's just say you wanted to go into another part outside of Atlanta, outside of the general area that you service. I don't know, let's say you want to go into
Oh
South
yeah, sure.
Carolina,
Sure.
you got to come up with some kind of a number to start with, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And there are a lot of educated ways to do that. Just for year over year, the sake of year over year discussion. And also, if you contact your local SBA office, they can help you. They have access to pulling like the NAICS codes. They call them NAICS codes.
Yep.
And for glass and glazing contractors, I mean, there are a lot of glass and glazing contractors who do commercial and architectural glass as well, and may not spend, anything on advertising, to your point, because they have builders that are their regular customers, right? But it's about 4% on average for our industry for glass and glazing is about 4%. And then the SBA recommends 7%. And then, yeah, if you're going for a new market, high growth, 10%, that sounds more than reasonable.
Whoa, look at those.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't know if you're paying attention to Chance is running this Chat GPT
I
program.
saw everything we were talking about the whole time.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. It's kind of, it's saying like 7 or 8% is what it's saying.
For the recommended budget, yeah.
Yep. So that's pretty accurate. I've always heard 10%. So we're kind of in that ballpark, And I would think of like a good strategy would be figure out how much you want to gross and spend about 10% of that on advertising, but you have to spend it wisely, right? I mean, just because you throw 10% into the wind doesn't mean that you're going to get returned. Got to kind of listen to what Rob's talking about, Chance and stuff, and be smart, get to know somebody. You never get a return overnight on advertising, right? It always takes time. Anybody worth their salt in the industry will tell you, it's going to take some time. It takes a few months, 3 months, 6 months to start seeing a return on your investment when it comes to advertising. So having someone you trust, who you've got a relationship with, who is going to keep your best interests, in mind, tell you the truth, set it up the way that you want them to. That's big. Really, it's all about relationships, right? Whether it's your customers, your vendors, your bankers, lawyers, insurance agents. Oh God, I'm getting depressed.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that's about it for now. Thanks for joining us tonight. Hey, I hope to see you all again back here next Wednesday, same time, same channel.